Hello and welcome to our summer session of COM 3350, Leadership Communication. My name is Dr. Annette Hamill and I will be your professor for this course. The purpose of this video is to give you an overview of the course, to let you see and hear me, and to outline some of my expectations for the semester. So please watch this video in its entirety in order to get a good orientation to our course. In the next few minutes, I'll go over the course content, the building blocks and components that will make up our course. I'll talk a bit about my course policies and procedures, and I'll give you an overview of what sections of the e-learning site we will be using the most. Before we go any further, I'd like to debunk some misconceptions that students sometimes have about online courses. The first one is sometimes students expect online courses to be easier, and they're not. They can actually be even more challenging than face-to-face classes. When I teach classroom sections of this course, we go over the same material that we do in the online section, but you won't have the discipline of going to a classroom on a regular schedule, so you'll need to budget your own time for the course. Also keep in mind that a summer course is the same amount of material that you would normally get in a 15-week semester compressed down into half the time. So we're basically doing 2 weeks worth of material in 1 week in a summer term. So the schedule is pretty heavy and moves rapidly. The second misconception, students sometimes think that an online course will take them less time than a face-to-face course. This is also not the case. When you consider that in the face-to-face section, you'd be in the classroom 2 to 3 hours a week, and then you would be spending time outside of that doing readings, preparing for quizzes, and doing assignments. You should budget at least that amount of time for working on your online course. The benefit is that you get to choose when that time is, and you can work at home in your pajamas in the wee hours of the morning, but you still need to budget and devote the time to the course. And the third misconception is that sometimes students think online courses mean you can work at your own pace, and that is not the case in this course. This course will have weekly assignments and deadlines that we'll talk about in a moment. When you look at the schedule page of the syllabus, you'll see that this course has weekly readings in our textbook. You have weekly assignments. Sometimes these are discussion boards, sometimes these are small written assignments, and sometimes these are exams. And you'll notice that we have weekly due dates. Every week there's something due, and in the case of a discussion board, there are 2 deadlines during the week. So my recommendation is that you look at that schedule page of the syllabus, put all those dates in your planner right away, and plan ahead to meet all of those deadlines. Our textbook for this course is called Leadership, A Communication Perspective by Hackman and Johnson. Specific information on this textbook can be found at the bottom of the first page of the syllabus. There you'll find the ISBN number and other information you might need for getting your hands on this book. Now the WMU bookstore has it, online retailers have it, you may even find copies of it out there online. I believe they are in the 7th edition of this book right now, but I prepared this class from the 6th edition, and the 6th edition is just fine as far as I'm concerned. And since it is the older edition, you'll probably be able to find it at a more affordable price than the 7th edition. But in the end, I don't really have a preference for which edition that you get. Just be aware that some of the page numbering might be different if you're using a different edition. So in the readings and assignments, if I'm referring to specific page numbers, if you're using something other than the 6th edition, those pages might be a few pages ahead or behind of the numbers that I'm giving you. You'll want to sign on to the e-learning site every week. Click on the content menu and look at the module list. See what module we're doing that week, click on that module and look at what's inside of it. It'll have your readings and assignments for that week, so look over all the contents and make a judgment as to how much time you think it's going to take. Even if you're not going to start working on it right then, it will allow you to envision the amount of work you'll have in the days ahead and to complete things by that Saturday night due date. Here is a screenshot from one of the home pages of one of my courses. I wanted to point out certain items on the menu to you. These are the items that we'll be using most often in this course. You see the 3 arrows, those are pointing to the menu selections that you will use most often. Starting on the left, the content menu. This is where you find the modules, the weekly modules. So if you click on content, it will take you to a page that lists all of the modules. You can then click on the module you want and it will show you all the contents inside that module that you'll need for completing that week's assignments. The second arrow is pointing to the communications menu. This is where you will find discussion boards. So if the assignment for the week is to complete a discussion board, that's where that will be located. And then thirdly, the arrow on the right is pointing to the assessments menu. And that is where you'll find the quizzes or exams and the drop boxes where you will upload written assignments. Please never send me written assignments over email. Don't send them to me as email attachments. They need to go into the Dropbox, so they're all in the same place. I can grade them right from the Dropbox, and the Dropbox serves as an archive and a collection point for all of the assignments in the class. So it's as if I have all the student papers in one spot if you submit them through the Dropbox. So please remember to do that. This is the schedule page of the syllabus. You'll find this on page 8. And our schedule for the summer 1 semester is laid out in a grid or table that should make it easy for you to navigate. I want to explain what is in each column and row of this table. On the left, you see the module number. That corresponds to the modules on e-learning. So if you want to go into, say, Module 3, you'll click on the Module 3 folder in e-learning, which would open up and then have the contents within it that pertain to that week, okay? The second column here, you see the dates. It has the end date for the module. Now, there may be a due date during the week as well, but that's the day the module totally closes, and I'll explain that more in a moment. Column 3, you have the topic of the week. So that tells you the subject matter we'll be studying. Column 4 says read. That tells you what chapters of the text you'll need to have read for that week. Now, it's a lot of reading. We're going to be moving quickly, so I really encourage you to keep up on the reading. There are video lectures to accompany each chapter, but in those I highlight certain important concepts in the chapter. I use them as an opportunity to give you more detail on things, but they do not take the place of the reading. So the reading takes precedence. I encourage you to make a special effort to keep up on the reading. Then you'll see in the last column, it says assignment, and it says always see task list for particulars. Inside each module, there's something called a task list, which gives you detailed instructions for how to complete that week's assignment. So you'll want to open up that task list to see how to do the assignment. But this is just a brief summary of what's due and when it's due. So looking at week 1, you see that there are a couple of things going on. First of all, there's a syllabus quiz you need to take by Saturday, but you'll see there's a discussion board that has 2 deadlines, Wednesday and Saturday. Discussion boards always have 2 due dates, Wednesday and Saturday. The Wednesday is for your original post, the Saturday is for your replies to your classmates. Okay, so please take a note that on those weeks you have discussion boards, you're going to have a Wednesday due date and a Saturday due date. Okay, so looking through the schedule here, you can see that we're going to have discussion boards in weeks 1, 2, and 5. So those weeks are going to have a Wednesday and a Saturday deadline. You'll see that in weeks 3 and 6, you have something called a checkpoint. That is a short written essay that you prepare individually and upload to the Dropbox. And then you will see that we have a midterm in week 4 and a final in week 8. I'd like to point out something about the final exam in week 8. It ends on a Wednesday. The summer 1 session ends on a Wednesday and the summer 2 session starts on Thursday. There's no break in between there. So I've given you as long as I possibly can to complete that final exam, but the summer 1 term will be over on Wednesday, June 29th. So from here, please explore the site, examine everything in the Start Here module, and please watch all videos in their entirety. Go to Module 1 and start the course. Complete this week's assignments. Remember that there is a syllabus quiz and a discussion board this week, and that discussion board has 2 due dates. And contact me if you have any questions. Email is always going to be the best way to get a hold of me during this summer session because I am working remotely and I won't be going into my on-campus office or be on campus. However, I'm happy to meet with you over WebEx. So if you would like to have a one-on-one meeting, send me a request over email and we'll set up a time when we can both talk over the internet. Okay, I'm happy to do that. So don't hesitate to request a WebEx meeting if that seems best to you. Okay, good luck. I'm looking forward to working with you this semester and I hope to hear from you soon. Take care.